So, hey, thanks for joining. This is All Things Haunted, and today we're at Opechee Haunt with creator, director, writer, Sam Kellman. So, hey, Sam. So, listen, thank you so much for allowing us to come out here and talk to you. We're really excited about this year's haunt. You're going to be at Midsummer Scream next week.
Yes.
You're going to bring this haunt, you're going to tear it down and drive it all over there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, we just got a couple of questions for you. First of all, when did you start the Opechee Haunt?
When did I start the Opechee Haunt? Well, I started the Opechee Haunt technically is actually in its 7th year of operation, which is kind of crazy. But it did start in 2011. I was about 8 or 9, so very young. Wasn't elaborate at all. It was actually at it was a Halloween party we had at our house, and a lot of guests were coming, and I decided to put on a haunted house in my bedroom, which was really crazy. And it was constructed out of you know those like trifold display boards, those cardboard? They're like this high. And we had a whole maze made out of those, and my only actor was like my dad. He was in my closet scaring people. So super low key in my bedroom for Halloween party guests. And then from there it grew. Next year it was a yard haunt. The year after that it kind of went around the perimeter, and we had a couple friends as actors. And then 2014 was the first year like we started building some sort of set pieces and things, and that was the first year Theme Park Adventure covered our event, and that's kind of where we got a little bit of coverage for the first time. And the next year we were at like a community center nearby, which was really neat just because we kind of had this air-conditioned space. And then last year we came back to a home haunt here. But kind of did an interactive experience, and then this year we're doing Midsummer Scream, so it's really exciting to do that.
So where did you come from, and how did it progress? I mean, from when it started, what was it like compared to like now?
Compared to like when the haunt started?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the fact that, I mean, obviously we didn't have budget at all. The budget actually ended up doubling every year. I mean, I started with it was like $20 and just using cardboard and things I already had around. You know, paper, just drawing things and hanging them up. And now, I mean, now we're really able to just buy show controllers and real equipment and build things out of wood. So that's more legitimate. And then also just actors, you know. We had a few years without actors, and now, you know, just friends are really into volunteering and helping out, which is really cool. And also, another little bit of growth this year, my friend actually, this is the first year I brought on a friend as a co-creative director. My friend Zion is actually helping out, which is really fun. So now I can bounce ideas off of someone else, which is actually creatively helpful, I think, just to be doing that and not just doing everything by myself, because then we can criticize each other and just, you know, make fun of each other's decisions, and then it kind of just gets better that way, I think.
Now, Opechee Haunt, it's pronounced Opechee?
Opechee. Yes.
Opechee. Okay, now that's pretty obvious because the street that you live on is the same name.
Yes.
Did you bounce any ideas around for the name of the haunt before you decided on that?
No, not really, because it was the first year, like 2011. Again, 8 or 9, I kind of just was like, I think actually, no, it was the first year we had a sign outside the Halloween party that said Opechee Way Cemetery, and we had the cemetery outside. And then it was kind of just Opechee Way Cemetery until like 2013 or 14, and my dad's an animator and he draws, so we got him to do that logo with the pumpkins. Oh, this one.
There it is.
That you see nowadays is the logo, but instead of the Opechee Haunt, it was always the Opechee Way Haunt. And I think even the first year that like Theme Park Adventure covered us, it was still Opechee Way Haunt. And I think 2015-16 we just rebranded to Opechee Haunt, but it's always been that name. It just kind of stuck. I never really thought about changing it. But we always have a subtitle, you know, for whatever our theme is. We'll always change it. So we always have like a subtitle for our maze.
So what goes into creating an event like this?
A lot. Yeah, I think, because, I don't know, some people watching this might already be in the industry or be in the haunted attraction industry, but, like, I mean, if you're not, or if you're thinking of going into it, like, it's a lot of work, and you have to understand a lot going into it, you know, you kind of have to understand how to build stuff, you know, light stuff, set design, training actors, writing scripts if you want to have a storyline and that kind of stuff. knowledge of, I guess, psychology too, just to know like, okay, this is going to be scary because of this, and people are going to react to this in this way. And I kind of learned that over the years too, because not everything is always effective. You kind of have to learn like how to misdirect people, and a lot of those things kind of just go into it. And then just the planning is a whole other thing. Planning early, transporting flats. It's just busy, but it's fun busy. It's like you're doing it because you like to do it, but it is a lot to do. So it does take a lot.
Now, is this something that's like on a back burner all year round? Are you always constantly trying to redesign in your head?
Yes, we're always thinking about it. Like we usually don't come up with, say, theme ideas like so far in advance, like years before we do them, but like I would say right after we start or stop a season, right after a season in October, we immediately start planning the next year. So like November, I'm already like, okay, what's our theme idea? Kind of bounce that around until December. And then we just have to start on concept art. I do concept art stuff and start writing scripts and stuff and doing audio. I always do audio earlier because then in June, July, even May sometimes, you already want to be buying and building props and getting all that stuff ready. So we always do start very, very early with all of that.
So you got Rick's on board. He says, Sam is the next generation face of Southern California haunters.
Oh, thanks, Rick.
So, yeah. So where do you find your inspiration for your haunt?
Inspiration? We were, it can come from a lot of different places. Because I'm very into filmmaking, too. So a lot of that side of me is implemented into it, I like implementing film elements and projections that we make and just writing scripts and stuff. So I'm inspired by movies and horror movies for this kind of stuff and all that. And then I'm also just inspired by other haunters also, like from home haunts, like Sherwood Scare, Backwoods, even Boney Island, stuff like that, to like horror nights or knots. All that stuff is very influential. And then even just theme park rides, and not even just Haunted Mansion, but Star Tours, just all that stuff. And the theme park storytelling is very influential to me, and snappy storytelling that really sticks with people because you can't give them a bunch of information and expect them to remember all of it in a theme park ride. So I like doing the same thing with haunt storytelling, just simple storytelling, but just have a story there. I think story's always essential, I guess.
So last year you utilized guest smartphones to create an interactive experience. What inspired you to go in this direction, and what were some of the challenges you faced with the technology?
Yeah, okay, that was, we were even talking about this earlier. That was the year where it was like, okay, 2015, the year prior to last year, was like at a community center, very hectic, first year with wall panels, and my parents were like, nope, not doing a big haunt next year. So I was like, okay, we'll just do a yard haunt. And then somehow it just kind of morphed into what happened last year. It was like, went from yard haunt to extremely interactive, actor-inclusive yard haunt, which was crazy. But I was actually, and I'd always been thinking like, okay, I want to go a different route. I want to do something interactive. Didn't exactly know how. And I didn't want it to be interactive in the way that, 17th Door or McCamey Manor does their interactivity, where it's touching you, and I want it to be just interactive and fun. So I kind of went off of, my real inspiration was, if you guys know about at Walt Disney World, they have all these interactive experiences. Like there's a Pirates one in Adventureland and the Sorcerer's experience at the Magic Kingdom. And those kind of experiences were really neat because you would use your park pass and place it on a sensor somewhere. It would give you clues, give you more information, then be like, all right, now you have to go to the next one over here, and then you would trigger things and stuff. And I was like, I want to do something like that. So we decided to do QR codes with smartphones, where it was like a scavenger hunt, where every time you scanned, you would get clues to find the next location, and you could even trigger certain effects and things to happen. And the craziest thing was, it's a really good story, there was on the night, I think he might have had friend connections or something, but on the actual night of, I think it was closing night of our haunt last year, the Imagineer who creative directed all those experiences, came to the haunt, which was kind of insane. And he was mentioning how amazed he was by all this stuff, and we were like, we ripped you off, you know? But he was really into it and like asking, like, what'd you use? How'd you? So that was crazy that he showed up, because I'm like, yeah, I was inspired by all of that. And then, what was the second part of the question?
The second part,
inspiration.
What were some of the challenges you faced with the technology?
Yeah, the big challenge was Wi-Fi, because we live up in the hills and cellular isn't great up here, so everyone needed to have Wi-Fi for their smartphones to work. And we bought some new routers. We have some neighbors nearby that are very tech savvy, so we had some help with that. But on the opening night, the routers stopped working, and we kind of had to run the maze, the last like maze portion of the experience for everybody, but they couldn't really work the QR codes, and that was a real challenge, just getting that technology to work. And eventually, by the second weekend, we did get that all working, but that was a challenge, just the technology, because we're like, oh, we want to do this smartphone thing, and then we didn't really realize, okay, it's actually really ambitious. But by the second weekend, we got it working.
Rick says, how many more years until you can have a drink with Rick West?
Oh, let me count. I don't know.
So
figure that out.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to basically say that it's your first year in high school, isn't it?
I'm going into sophomore year.
You're going to sophomore year. Okay. Rick says he'll be dead by the time that year 21.
That's true. There you go.
But it's very impressive that somebody as young as yourself is this advanced in this sort of thing. We were talking off camera a little while ago, and when I was your age, I had a pumpkin out on my porch, you know, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So, you know, I look around here and I go, man, I was a loser back then. So it's really impressive. I got another question. Any hints about what's coming to Midsummer Scream?
Any hints about Midsummer Scream? Okay, so if you came to our home haunt last year, the interactive one, Apparition Adventure, or know what that was about, we have videos of it on our YouTube channel at Opechee Haunt. But this is a sequel to that year's storyline. We kind of dove into, there's this family that lives in this house, and these paranormal investigators are investigating. They're kind of Ghostbuster-y guys, and we got rid of the husband and wife of the family, but we barely dove into the twins, and that's what we wanted to do this year. So you're going to be encountering them throughout the entire maze. So it's a sequel to last year's. But yeah.
And these people, these are friends of yours that just come in and help you out with that, huh?
Yeah, help build, help act. It's all just friends volunteering, being just like, they're really enthusiastic about it. And since I've started at this arts high school, there are all these theater kids that actually like acting a lot and are really passionate about it and are great. So that's a plus too.
Amazing. So one more question: if you had an unlimited budget, what would you want to do?
What I want to do if I had an unlimited budget, do some sort of ride, I would say. Like, you've seen have you seen Mystic Motel? Do you know that kind of thing? Do that, times 10, just make a ride. Maybe involve actors. I mean, Haunted Mansion used to have a couple actors in it originally. Yeah. Maybe just do some sort of ride, because I don't see that in the home haunt, SoCal community a lot. I just think that would be different to see.
That's awesome. Anything that you want to tell? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. Come on down to Midsummer Scream and go through our haunt. Yeah,
and
it'll be fun.
How can we find out more about you, about your haunt, your Opechee Haunt?
Yeah, social media, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. It's just all at Opechee Haunt, and then our website. It's a little crazy URL: spookyscary.wix.com/Opechee Haunt. And that's our website.
Wonderful. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to see you in a few days over at Midsummer Scream. We're really excited to go through it and see it all.
Yeah.
You nervous?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. We have to move this whole thing in a couple days.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
Very impressed. I can't tell you how impressed we are with your event here. Thank you again so much for talking with us. And again, this is All Things Haunted, and we're here at Opechee Haunt here in Glendale, where they're going to be at Midsummer Scream. There's still tickets available if you want to see this, plus a whole lot of stuff at their what's that thing called? Sorry, Rick.
What's it called?
It says I can't wait to have Sam. Okay, yeah, that's what he's talking about. But they're going to have a midway full of just haunted houses.
Oh, Hall of Shadows.
The Hall of Shadows. Yeah. So Hall of Shadows, if you want to see that.
14 haunts.
14 haunts in the Hall of Shadows. Thank you, Rick. Sorry about that. But 14 haunts at the Hall of Shadows, plus vendors, classes, lectures. It's going to be really big, so you want to go to Midsummer Scream and get tickets. They're still available. And, of course, there's the dance party at the Queen Mary as well the same night. So we're going to scope down again. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Again, this is All Things Haunted.